So I wanted to talk about polar opposites and transforming those polar opposites into abundance. Being able to transform those polar opposites into abundance. This is a bear. It's also made of stone, earth, and fire, transforming into water. And that's what you need to do for your business model. Taking good and bad and transforming it into something power. Why I'm using polar opposites, because it can be good or bad. It can be a poison, putting it in a place that it's healing something, or it can be creating with lack and turning that into abundance. And what I do is I take negative things and positive things and transform them into super positive things. And that's just not a concept. It started with the concept, but it's who I am. I embody it. It's part of me. So I want to talk about two stories. I had a story with this client of mine that I recently came into contact with, and they were talking about how they were to get all their office furniture for a nice size office. They would get all their office furniture for $400, which they don't take into consideration that the time and effort that they put into and probably going around to pick it up, because their time is also so valuable. I honor that, but also I'll tell you another story about somebody that took something that was a situation that was lacking and turned it into industry. So I was working on a project with a farm worker, and he was sharing this story with me. And in this story, he talked about how they needed bees for their farm to pollinate whatever they were growing. So as they were pollinating this farm, they had to loan the bees from this company, and the bees cost a certain amount, and they could afford to loan them, but they found out they could buy bees for just a little more, and then they were able to produce honey that they put to market and they were selling. So it was something that they took as a negative, and they were able to transform it into a positive. My challenge with that company and that great story that they had, they weren't able to help their employees out in the same way. They weren't able to transform the hardship that was going on with their employees. Me, on the other hand, I was able to come in there. They invited me over to help them with some people that were protesting their company. And I was able to find out that the protesters were complaining because a 5-year-old had burned down his house. This 5-year-old had burned down his house because he was watching his younger sibling, and he was messing around the stove and burned down his house, and the 5-year-old died. And the protesters wanted blood. The protesters wanted blood. And the same person that had the situation with the bees, he looked at this situation, and he was going over to this school for 2 years. No, his company was going over to school. He had never gone. When I went down there, it was the first time he went. They introduced me to the school, but they're going down to this one school in Mexico where it was around where this protest was going. They're going down to this school once a month for 2 years before they gave 1 penny. 1 penny. Before they gave 1 penny, they went there. I went down there 2 times in 2 trips. The first time I went to the school and I talked to the person that founded it for 5 minutes. And it was because I listened to her. A lot of you don't think I listen, because when I'm doing a video like this, I can't just sit there listening. Do you understand that? So from there, I was able to sit there and I was able to transform this situation into something that was positive and powerful. I went down the second time and I spent 3 hours with her, and I was able to find out that she didn't feel that she was making a difference. I was able to point out, I can see it around you, you're making a difference. I don't feel what's going on good on both sides of the protest. The protesters want blood for what happened to this 5-year-old, when I said it's not that 5-year-old's fault, but the company could take ownership in it. It's not the company's fault, but the company could take ownership in it. On the other side of it, I'm doing a video. Can you give me like a minute more? I'm just waiting to go to Starbucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to have a badge in order to go inside.
Oh, this is like different property? It's Starbucks?
It's not inside that building.
They shouldn't put that on Google.
Yeah.
Then I'll take. I didn't know. I'm not from Texas. I'm from California.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like private property. It's not really open for the public. For
They
buyers.
they shouldn't put stuff like that on Google.
Yeah, I don't know why a lot of people come here looking for Starbucks.
Yeah.
And we have to tell them, this is not a public.
Yeah, that's
Starbucks closed over here at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Good.
Have a good one.
All right.
Cool. So So they were able to take this situation. They were able to take this situation and transform it. Take this situation and talk to this person and encourage her to start another school. Protesters are just mad. They want blood. The corporation is just going around there every single day, going around there every single day. And as they're going around every single day, they're not getting anything done. You guys see what happened there? Go back to that. That speaks volumes right there. Supposed to be on that property, but see how I handle it. I'm taking off. I'm going to the next thing. I learned my lessons. I'm transforming that. Whatever went on there, I'm transforming that into a positive. I let him know, like, this is how this should be, and got to walk around, no checking IDs or anything like that. I didn't even have to pause the Facebook Live. I even told him to wait for a little while. I am the authority, and you should be too.